May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy. I am filled with loving kindness. I am well. I am peaceful and at ease. And I am happy. I am filled with loving kindness. I am well. I am peaceful and at ease. I am happy. I am filled with loving kindness. I am well. I am peaceful and at ease. And I am happy. I am happy. I am happy.
It is. Good morning, everybody. What a beautiful day it is at the Center for Spiritual Living this morning. I'm Reverend Jay Lang and just got back from my retreat. I'm the senior minister here, so happy to be back and in community. My favorite place to be. So glad to have you. We also have Bodhi Starwater here, who's going to open us up with some music. So let's welcome Bodhi.
Ready to sing? That was enthusiastic. Are you ready to sing? Yeah. All that I see, all that I hear, all that I feel is God. All that I have, all that I do, all that I am
all I am is God. And then I'd like you to turn to your neighbors. If you need to stand up, introduce yourself, and tell them all that they are is God. Go ahead and stand up and move around. Introduce yourself. Hey, Michelle, all that you are is God. I think I'm on. What? Yeah? Pull it out. Okay, it looks like you. All of you is God, but the production was off a little bit, so I'm off now. We couldn't find the stage on the camera, so we found it. We like to begin our service with our vision and mission statement. So if you will look up on screen and read with me. We are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And our mission, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. So welcome to all of you. We are welcome to all people, all faiths, cultures, races, orientations, and just whoever you are, you're welcome here. And we so appreciate you being here today. Whether it's your first time or your first time in a while or the millionth time you've been here, we welcome you. There will be an acknowledgement of you later in the service if you're new. For now, just sit back and enjoy the service we have. We did want to let you know about a few announcements we have. First of all, we have a class coming up called 5 Steps to Freedom. It's really a powerful class because we have a certain style of prayer called affirmative prayer. We're going to learn about that, but also we're just going to learn about communing and being with Spirit, whatever definition you have that or whatever experience you have. We're going to practice prayer and meditation and just deepen into that relationship. What's interesting about the way that we pray and meditate, often I say we're the East meets West, where we include Christian and Judaism, the love that's there and the ancient practices that are there, but also the Eastern style of meditation and prayer that we include in that. And this affirmative prayer has been practiced in ancient communities forever. And we've just brought it into modern times and have made it more accessible to people. At times it was in catacombs and people's homes in secret because it wasn't there wasn't freedom to use them, and now there is, so we can do that. And this class is both online and in person, 6 weeks starting September 11th. And on September 7th, we're going to have just a free introduction to the class, just to see if it might fit your needs, what you might want. So that's after the services on September 7th. We're going to have that. And you're welcome to come, no commitment at all, just see what you're like. If you like the class, you sign up, you can register at the registration table out there, information table, or online. There's a discount for volunteers and members here as well, and that's the advantage of membership. Today we do have a membership class that's right after the service at 12 o'clock if you're interested in learning about membership. Also, this is no obligation, just learning more about the church and what kind of things we do here and how you can get involved and what membership means. But what's great about becoming a member, there's discounts on rentals here and discounts on classes, so it gives you an opportunity to learn more about that. So please join us at noon today. I'll be here to talk about that. And then next Sunday, a friend, so I'm also the dean of a theology school, ministerial school, and one of our recent graduates who's almost licensed, but not quite. She's what I would call an emerging minister because she has to go through an oral panel still, but she's a fantastic speaker, fantastic speaker. And I don't know if she has a singing voice or not, but I know she's a great speaker. And she lives up in Seattle, and she was going to be in town. And I just wanted to bring her in to allow her to speak to you. And her topic is going to be all love is divine love. So you can't go wrong with that. So her name is Rachel DePaula. And some of you may or may not know her. She's been part of Women's Spirit. She used to live in the Bay Area in Marin County. So she's been around the Bay Area quite a bit. Yeah, she was at Golden Gate. Yeah. And then we're having a healing circle on September 13th. That's open to anybody who wants to come on a Saturday morning. I'll do a brief talk, and then we'll just have a discussion, sharing of how our lives are. And when we talk about healing, we're talking about the body, heart, soul, emotional, any part of healing that you're seeking. Or maybe you're just seeking to understand what healing is and how that works. So you're welcome to join us Saturday, September 11th. And then the next day, I don't think I have a slide for it. I don't. The next day, on Sunday, we're having the installation of a new practitioner, Carmina Chavez. And you don't know her necessarily. You might have seen her around, but the reason you don't is she became a practitioner in our Spanish-speaking ministry. She's the first practitioner to graduate from our Spanish-speaking ministry. It's really cool, yeah. And she'll serve both us and Center for Spiritual Living in Peninsula, but primarily be working with the Spanish-speaking ministry. And our goal, that may be a long range, but is to bring back the in-service Spanish-speaking ministry, because it's been virtual for quite a while, because our primary teachers don't live in Napa, but we'd like to bring it back to be here on at least a couple Sundays a month. And then finally, save the date. Save the date for our Sound Oasis with Bodhi Starwater, October 26th. I know that seems like a far way away, but the idea is save it on your calendar. Put it on your calendar so you're ready to participate in this. We'll get it an online registration available for you and signed up sheets later on. But right now, I just want you to mark it as a save the date. We have a couple of these a year. Bodhi usually does one in the fall, and we have another one in the spring with somebody else. But there are just amazing events, amazing experiences, I would call them. It's not even an event; it's an experience. And it's definitely healing the body, mind, heart, and soul. So please join Bodhi for that October 26th. And please also know that we're here for prayer in all aspects. We have practitioners who will be up here available for one-on-one affirmative prayers if you so interest that. Or you can fill out a prayer request in the lobby or online. They're all available. So please know that it is our privilege to be able to pray for you. We gather together once a week, but we also do it as a daily spiritual practice to pray on those who've requested prayer. And now we'll begin the sacred part of our service with music and reflection with Virginia.
So go back into that beautiful space where Bodhi transformed us. And we're going to take several deep clearing breaths. So as you breathe in that love, that light, that love that's our focus for this month. And as you exhale, let go of anything that you don't need. Anything you don't need in this moment, or really in actuality don't need it all, but thought you needed. So breathing in, letting go deeper, breathing in, letting yourself begin to move into the heart of love, that radiant pulsation within the center of your body. Some say this is where our soul resides. So now begin to breathe into your heart, feeling it relax, feeling the vital force flowing through that vessel. And we have a very powerful central chakra in that part of our body, our subtle body, our heart chakra. And it can open like a lotus when we breathe out love and centering into it. So in this place of safety, peace, camaraderie, and universal love, let yourself dwell in your heart of hearts, being one with the divine, feeling the truth of your being, the marriage of spirit and matter, the divine human, here on this earth at this point in time, to be the very most excellent being you can be, to help with the transformation of our planet, our race, and to be part of that healing vibration of love. We are love. We come from love. We are made for love. We can never stop loving. It is our true nature. So take a few more breaths and see if your body will accept these cosmic truths and let it fill you completely. While you're resting in this state, you can open your eyes or stay centered inside. I would like to share my experience, my personal experience of affirmative prayer. A little over a year ago, I had some serious dental surgery, and being a practitioner, I knew the value of affirmative prayer. And I asked some fellow practitioners to pray for me. I put myself on the ministry of prayer. And the day before I was going in for the surgery, I was reading over some of the prayers that were sent me. All of a sudden, I had no anxiety, no fear. I was in a bubble of light. And that lasted for about 5 days. I floated into the surgery, which was an hour away in Santa Rosa, calm drive the whole way. The dentist, I was in the chair for over 2 hours. The surgeon couldn't believe how well I was doing. Everybody treated me like I was the most special person in the world. I floated home, and like I said, it lasted for about 5 days. And after that, I always knew I needed to do this surgery, but you know how we get, right? We don't want to let go, we're afraid. I just felt so right. I felt like I was in the right place I was cared for, and I was loved. And I feel like crying talking about it because this is the power of affirmative prayer. And affirmative prayer works when we open to receive it. So I would encourage any of you who have been timid or unsure to experience affirmative prayer to just go for it. It will always be for your highest and best, because it can only be for the highest and best. So, thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. It's all love is divine love. I like that. You're going to love Rachel. She's a delight. She's really a wonderful human being. All love is divine love. In love, we take our stand. I will meet you and greet you, and I'll embrace your love. Dancing through this world so free, I lightly take your hand. With courage, trust and faith, always have enough. With a heart of grateful joy, love, we take our stand. If I took the time to tell all the million reasons I love you, it would take up most all the night, and even then I might not make it through. For the magic that I feel with you, it keeps my ship on a course that's true. And I know that when the words slip away, I reach inside my heart and say, I will meet you, I will greet you, and I'll embrace your love. Dancing through this world so free, I lightly take your hand. With courage, trust and faith, we always have enough. And with a heart of grateful joy, in love we take our stand. Oh, in love we take our stand. Yes, in love we take our stand. Thank you.
Beautiful, Bodhi, beautiful. Oops. I know added to our prayers this week, we add to the people that have been affected by fires around Calistoga. I live on the west side, and late into the evening I hear these planes coming over, and I know they're flying low enough they're going to the fires. And I read about that, and actually it's easier for them to see the fire at night. So they work until the fog rolls in, and it disturbs my sleep a little bit, but it's almost to me like a church bell ringing or a call to prayer at a mosque, that it's my call to prayer, that I know that the firefighters are safe and guided, and those people that need to evacuate in plenty of time, and they have lodging that they need, and then the fires cool down, they drop down, and they extinguish. So we can know that in our prayers this week. So it was a surprise to me in some ways, because I didn't even know about the fires until I got back from, I went on a contemplative retreat for 5 days in Point Reyes, and I wasn't on email, I wasn't on any kind of media, so it was a surprise to me. but also that's good. It's good to get away. I do that every year around my birthday, and it just so happened when I came here in 2014, it was not only near my birthday, but then that was when I came here, started my ministry here in Napa. So it's also an anniversary of my coming here. Now finished 11 years on my 12th year here. But it's also a time to reflect on important things, so to speak. If you've heard the metaphor about the big rocks, make sure the big rocks are in the calendar first, and then add the other things in. And so it was good to be away. It was interesting. I was staying at in St. Columba's, which is an Episcopalian retreat center, a very beautiful old church, and they have a retreat center attached to it. And the church has a focus on contemplative practices. And so it's a quiet retreat center. There's very little talking. Sometimes in the there where people eat, there's talking, but other than that, it's pretty much silent the whole time, which really served me. There was a phenomenon that I noticed that every time I was going through a doorway, I would bow my head in reverence. But part of that was practical because the door frames were at about 6'2", and I'm 6'3". So there's a phrase that says, pain pushes until vision pulls. So the pain got me the first time, hit my head hard, was bleeding a little bit. So then pain reminded me. But it actually, by the end of the week, I was in reverence. It was like a great reminder through every threshold to be reverent, to open up to Spirit, to be in that place. So what started as pain pushing was vision pulling by the end of the week. So it was a beautiful time to be in. A beautiful boy. Point Reyes is just such a gorgeous place to be. I was up on the 4th floor looking out over Tamales Bay, and the fog that rolled in and the sunrises in the morning. It was just a beautiful place to be. So and a nice place to just be quiet. So this week I've been pondering this about revolutionary love, and evolutionary, revolutionary. They are synonymous in a lot of ways. And it's all part of our Wings of Love series that we've had this month. And I know that this idea of how love's through us, we're open as an open channel, shifts our lives, and as we're open to express it in the world, it changes all lives. That it spreads like I've heard people use the metaphor here before, the pebble that goes into the pond and it then ripples out, which creates other ripples, which creates other ripples, and other stones are being cast in, so there becomes almost like microwaves or sound waves that interact with each other in positive ways. So I came across this idea of revolutionary love and evolutionary love actually from, this is a picture, I forgot I put, so this is a picture of St. Columba's retreat center, and they have this beautiful bell tower on one side, but it's a really nice place. You don't have to be Episcopalian to go there. I was recommended by a Lutheran minister, but anybody can go there. And it's meant to be contemplative at the same time. So very simple rooms. You cook your own food or go to restaurants around there. So it's very nice. So this idea of evolution of the revolutionary love. It started for me, I met, I don't know if you know her, Barbara Marks Hubbard. Probably heard of her. She's passed now. She passed in 2019, but I had the chance to hear her speak, and she was just so inspirational to me. And I've gone back and read a lot of her things, and her legacy of her work continues. So she talked about how life has evolved for 4.5 billion years on this planet, and we have risen to a high complexity, a higher order, a greater freedom of choice. But here's the thing, with a greater freedom of choice, we can choose to use it for constructive or destructive, for life-affirming or life-denying ways. That's what choice is about. We can create or destroy, and it can be for the good of a few or good for us all. We have amazing advances, technology and internet connection that goes around the world, international media. Do you know there's over 12,000 active satellites in the sky right now? Over 12,000. Now they're in different layers around the earth for different purposes, but it's pretty amazing that there's so many little things buzzing around us right now. Maybe you don't want to think about that too much. So. But we know that this is opportunities for love too, with this innovation, this creativity, this consciousness that expands. And Barbara Marx Hubbard, her idea was it was more than, it was consciousness, but it was also our DNA that would begin to change, because that's what evolution does. We used to be, life on Earth, not necessarily us, but life on Earth was just single cell amoebas that lived in, a soupy, some sort of a cosmic water that was bubbling and brewing life, and it developed more complex. And to take life as just biological evolution is short of the truth, because most scientists did not include the X factor, which is spirit. And we know that there's more than just a biological evolution, because there are gaps in the fossil records that suddenly show there's an eye. And there wasn't kind of in-between eyes that developed into that, one being had an eye and the other one didn't. And so this one evolved more by survival of the fittest kind of thing. It was that suddenly almost all the creatures had eyes, and not only in one area, but across the world. This idea of inspiration, intuition, a consciousness that holds information. The same is true of great inventions like computers and airplanes. I mean, we always talk about, being Americans, we talk about our people that invented the airplane, the Wright brothers. But there were 4 or 5 inventors around the world that within a year of each other invented some sort of an airplane, and there wasn't any internet access to figure out what the Wright brothers were doing. In fact, there's evidence that the Chinese inventors did it before the Wright brothers did. So this is just this idea that there's a universal consciousness that holds this information, that evolves, that we can tap into, that we are the evolution of that. Now, Barbara Marx Hubbard, what she's famous for is a map she did of consciousness, that she saw the world coming out and continued to advance in, and love would be the carrot that kept us going through that. And that evolution hasn't stopped. It's continual. And what she said, I love that. She said, if I were God, I would say, we're just getting started. It hasn't stopped. It's an inner spark in every one of us. We are the first species, she said, to begin to understand that not only are we aware of evolution, but we are evolution. We are evolution in person. She referred to Andrew Cohen, who's an author, who said that we're a continuous inner Big Bang. Continuous inner Big Bang. Now, the other side of that is, it was probably in the early 80s when I saw her, probably early 80s. And I was so inspired by her, and I kept expecting this like big tidal wave of water coming, like consciousness, and a benign, benevolent big wave, but it would spread out through the land and everyone would be one big happy family. Despite harmonic convergences and world peace meditations, different events that have happened, nuclear disarmament, Aquarian age, we've heard all these things, right? Some of us may be too young to hear all of it, but you've heard some of it, I'm sure. But it hasn't happened. I feel like we're surfers out in the water waiting for that big wave, and all we're getting is small waves. But what's interesting is out in the water, You ever been out in the water? I lived in Hawaii for a year, so I could just feel the peace in the water that was there. It was so balanced, and all water is like that in the ocean. So while we're in the water waiting for those waves, even if they're just small waves, we feel at peace. We feel in harmony. We feel connected. We feel alive. And we're in a community of other surfers who are doing the same thing, that we're connecting to each other. Yes, some waves are bigger than others, but they're all waves of love. And so I began to change my idealism of this, we're all one big happy family, to realizing there's a lot of small happy families. That we're doing it in communities. We're doing it in different communities here, and not just this community, but other communities. You're doing it in your circle of friends, and you're doing it within yourself. And this is creating evolution. What I found, one thing that stood in our way of the big wave, was that when Darwin first started talking about evolution, it was the beginning of the 19th century, 1800s. And at the same time, there were many progressive religions starting when established faiths like Methodist, Presbyterian, Baptist, there were progressive movements in each one of those. And these progressive movements they would embrace forward thinking, interpretations, their traditions. They were socially active. They were more about liberation than salvation, emphasizing values such as compassion, justice, tolerance, and include, as time went on, issues of feminist, LGBTQ rights, inclusion, eco-theologies, and all this brought forth and engaged in social and political activism. Sounds great, right? However, there were some people who were not happy about that. I don't know why exactly. I'm beginning to have conversations with people to understand that more. It had to do with some people around fear of losing what they had, fear of losing their faith, fear that maybe God wasn't real. And being part of a progressive movement, I know that God is alive in what we do. Matter of fact, I see God as encouraging us, guiding us to be this socially active in this way. But what happened at the beginning of the 19th century was the first time any religion decided the Bible was without error. That's a big decision. And to preach from that. And provide a lot of layers of guilt and obligation toward their followers believing in that. So it began the conservative movement. And guess what? It's still here. It's still, I don't want to say opposing, I want to say it's just differing. It's a different view. Yet what I know is within that movement there is love. And there is compassion. There is a desire to know Spirit deeper. We don't need to have anything opposing us or anything. We just know that there are people who don't want the big wave to come in. And that's okay. We don't need a big wave. We've got a lot of little waves going on right now. So where I stayed at the Columbus, St. Columbus, there I met a vicar who is their senior minister, if you don't know that. He's Father Vincent Bizzato. And he wrote a book on contemplating Christ, which I read part of it while I was there. And I met him in person. There was a social event one evening they were presenting a project that was being done in Asia. And I had the chance to meet him, and there was a little food and wine gathering, and he and I started geeking out over theology, so that was kind of fun to do. But here's what I was talking to him. He was talking to him about his emphasis on contemplation and how people really resonated with that. The Episcopalians did, and a lot of people came to his church because they resonated with that. And I talked about how we were an East meets West kind of religion. We did have meditation and different practices of mindfulness that we teach our people that come here so they can be more aware and more liberated. But I said also we take the love of Jesus from the Western world. And suddenly he just sprang into life. He goes, yes, that's it. I like, part of me was going, we were just having this little private conversation. There's about 20 people in the room, and something I'm going, yeah, yes, it is it. But something struck him that because his passion for the love of Jesus was tangible. And I resonate with that too. The model that Jesus talked about is a lot of the values we hold as a progressive center. And it's also that love that we can resonate when we connect with people of the Christian faith, whether they are conservative or progressive. Most of the members of the interfaith community, which I am part of, are progressives. And I love that. I resonate with them. We geek out over theology too, and we resonate with social activity, justice, inclusion. And we know that's only half the churches here in Napa. And we're seeking to make inroads into that also, or just have conversations. And I think that's where evolution is going to happen. It's these small waves that are going to usher in something new and usher in a deeper connection with life itself. And a way for us to having loving communities. We don't have to be the biggest community. We don't have to be anything at all other than a loving community, a peaceful community, inclusive community. And we connect and collaborate with nonprofits and other faith communities that are doing this work at the level we can. I mean, St. John's Episcopal over on Linda Vista, they have this huge garden that's about as big as our whole property here, and they grow food for the food bank. That's wonderful. I can, I don't volunteer over there. I thought about it, but right now I don't have the extra time, but it's something I would be willing to do. Napa Can Do has a garden too. And they do the same thing. It's over at Covenant Presbyterian. And so this is the way that we evolve this love we have. What else I know about the way we are is that curiosity accelerates evolution. And what I mean by this is that when we follow our curiosity, that is an opening for growth to happen. Because when we're curious, we stay out of judgment. We stay out of thinking things have to be a certain way for something to happen. Now, I'm not talking about the curiosity we have that might lead to gossip, like, why did they do that? Did you hear about so-and-so? That's not the curiosity I'm talking about. I'm talking about the curiosity of understanding people and opening up to who they are. I was, I've had a full 3 weeks. Not only last week was my solo retreat, but the 2 weeks before that, my grandchildren were visiting from the Netherlands. And it was really fun to have them because I only see them once a year. And I'm a former elementary school teacher, so I have fun with children. And so one morning I woke up and we were talking and hanging out. And I go, there's a hidden staircase in this house. First of all, we live in a one-story home. I said, there's a hidden staircase in here, but I need your help because I can't. It doesn't seem to go anywhere, and I don't understand that. Can you? And they're all excited. The older one, who's 12, is kind of going, but the other ones were all excited. They're suddenly running around the house trying to figure out where this hidden staircase was. And they spent about 10 minutes doing that until finally they went to a closet they'd already been in, but they looked a little deeper, and they saw a set of a step stool with 3 steps that was hidden and enmeshed into some hanging closets. And yes, I put that in there. And they go, is this it? I go, yeah, that's it. You found it. And they go, but it doesn't go anywhere. I said, yeah, that's what I said. and they sort of drop their shoulders. They go, oh. But then you know what they did? They climbed up the steps to see if it went anywhere. Curiosity continued. And we went on about our day and did different things. But you know what happened the next morning? You have anything else for us to find? I said, yes, I do. I am missing a gray elephant. I was wondering if you could find it. Now, the gray elephant is probably a lot smaller than their imagination thought, but it's there, and they did find it. And so why do we lose this curiosity as adults? Let's be that curious with life. Let's find out about people and things and understanding, because that, I'm sure, but I theorize that the reason why we have eyes now through evolution, it's not because it randomly came about, but it was because somebody goes, some thinking, some sort of brain they had, what would happen if I could see? Even though, I don't know, they didn't have the word, they might have language, but what if I could, sense the world a little bit better? And then out of that curiosity, that what if brings this possibility of life that opens up. Valerie Carr, you've heard us talk about her a lot, her book, See No Stranger. She's quite amazing in her work, what she does. First of all, I did this little thing about a little comic I put out. So the doctor saying, sorry, it's curiosity. But did curiosity really kill the cat? Or was that a way to stop us from asking so many questions? I don't know about you and a kid. I got that. For some reason, I was told that a lot as a kid. I think we all tend to be curious people. I think that's why we're part of a center like this, is we are curious people. And I think that's great. So Valerie Carr, that wrote this book, See No Stranger, she talks about curiosity is not a passive musing. It's an active, courageous practice that dismantles barriers and invites connection where there was once a division. She goes on to say, wonder is the wellspring for love. If we have a day where we don't notice something or someone that brings us awe or wonder or sense of beauty of life, then we're going too fast life. Slow down and notice what that is, what that brings awe and joy in our lives. Even a curiosity about that. Her own faith community, the Sikhs, have a long history of being violently subjugated. In 2001, they were grouped with Islamic terrorists after 9/11, along with peace-abiding Muslims. The Sikh men wear turbans, and they're often mistaken for Muslims. And some people who think they might be Muslims also think they might be terrorists. And so the first person killed in a misaligned revenge attack after 9/11 was a Sikh man who was wearing a turban. And that was Kaur, her uncle. So she was related to them. The man was Frank Rogue was his name. And he reportedly told friends he was going to go out and shoot some towelheads that day. So obviously, Kaur was already involved in social activism, but the incident stopped her in her tracks, and she asked, what am I missing? Her grief led to curiosity, led her to consider the other side, who as a lawyer, she fought against them. Instead, she wanted to be able to understand them. So she suggests that when we look at the face of someone who is different than us, who has a different perspective, choose wonder instead of judgment and separation. She said to ourselves, we can say, hello, sister, brother, aunt, uncle. We are all related because we are all one. And here's the line that I use often in my own mind. You are a part of me that I do not know yet. You are a part of me that I do not know yet. 15 years after her uncle, Balbir Singh Sodhi, lost his life, she set a candle at the spot where he was killed in front of his convenience store, his gas station. And his brother, her other uncle, Rana, turned to her and said, nothing has changed. since that day. And she said, who have we not yet tried to love? So whenever there's an impasse in anything, we can be curious about who have we not yet tried to love. So the answer was obvious. They attempted to have a conversation over the phone with the killer, Frank Rogue, who is now in life imprisonment. And he agreed to speak with them. And the first thing he said to them after they talked for a minute, I think they asked him, why did you agree to speak with us? And he said, I regret what occurred. And also more in the loss of the lives of 9/11. And Carr thought to herself, she writes, that despite his apology, he did not take full responsibility. So she was still in that judgment. But her Uncle Rana began to be curious about it, and it shifted things. So Rana said, this is the first time I've ever heard you express remorse. Frank affirms, yes, I'm sorry for my actions toward your brother. Should one day I be judged by God in heaven, I will request to see your brother, embrace him, and ask for forgiveness. Rana said, we've already forgiven you. So if he had not been willing to be curious, that next step would have never happened. And that can happen so much in our lives. I believe in what I would call the second right answer is what we need to speak aloud. Now, what I mean by that is often my first answer is one of a reaction or defensiveness or an overreaction of some sort. And my second response is one of compassion. Or maybe it's my first question that I have. And why I bring that up is, let me give you a couple examples. So my garden has been producing a lot of tomatoes and cucumbers and squash and all sorts of things. And I left with it needing to be picked things, but I picked some things but didn't have time to pick everything. And Michelle, my wife, is not a gardener. She doesn't like getting dirty, and she considers all that stuff. So what she did is just invited neighbors over to pick the garden. When she told me that, my first response was, what? My tomatoes? You don't know me, I'm attached to these beautiful yellow tomatoes I grow. But my second response was, oh, I'm glad, because they would have not been good by the time I got back. I'm just wondering why I didn't start with my second answer instead of overreacting, because she felt guilty later. And today I went out, and this morning I picked some tomatoes that became ripe, and she was so glad to see them because she still felt bad. I said, I didn't realize you still felt bad about that. But she was responding to my first answer. How about we just go to that second answer, or the first question we can have? I just came back, so Friday I came back from my retreat, and I was still kind of in the process of getting things, and I met with Mary about this service we had yesterday. We had a celebration of life for a woman named Tracy Cushing. And so I talked to Mary. I wasn't tracking details very good yet, and I was just hearing all these things about that were, and the rental chairs were going to come at 7:30, and somebody needed to be here, and I'm going, oh my God, I don't want to get up that early, not on just coming back the first day. I didn't say that out loud. I did get to the second answer first, and I realized I'm here to serve. And this is, I knew Tracy came here occasionally, so I knew about her. I didn't know her well, but I knew it was important for me to be there, and not from a mental, but from a heart. It was right to be here. So when I showed up at 7:30, it was the right thing because I was there to settle where the chairs went. I couldn't expect the grieving family to do that. And we created an environment for this loving service for a loving woman. 150 people were here in our courtyard yesterday. And really, they lingered because they loved her so much and they had so many stories to tell. They went across the street to Armistice to the brew pub over there and stayed there. So the whole thing started at 10. It didn't end till probably 3. And it was a beautiful thing. And also, I think as we walk into this idea about the revolution we want to do, which I would call a elevolution, that we're evolving love within us. Tracy is a person who made small waves in her life. She had a circle of friends. She had family, a stepdaughter, just a life abundant that she had. And she obviously spread ripples into people's lives because they were all there that day. I said stepdaughter. I meant she was a single mom with her daughter, and her new husband, Tom Cushing, was the widower. He was the stepdad. But it's Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddhist teacher, talked about beginning anew to change our mind and heart and to transform that which is held hard in our lives. And then if we open up, we allow these waves to flow in our lives to create and allow. I also know that Christina Young, if you remember her a few years ago, she came, she's a local artist, and she was doing a mosaic with all the broken pieces from the earthquake, the 2014 earthquake, and was putting it in and involved 2,000 community members to do this. And it was only about 3/4 done when she saw us, when she was here talking about it. But she was persistent because she knew it was an avenue of healing, and it's finally complete. Today it's being shown over the Oxbow along the rail trail. And it's going to continue to be displayed, I think, a place further north along the trail. But this is another example of individual things we do. So the love, the re-lovolution that we have is going to be done individually in our lives, letting go of things, going to the second answer, the first question, and seeking to understand all people. To be curious, to know they're a part of us that we don't know yet. And we may not have a chance to have a conversation with them, but we can still know that they're part of us, they're part of the oneness that is all life. And that is the key to creating these small waves. And actually these small waves are easier to handle. People, a big tidal wave comes in, you can't handle that. What are you going to do with that? You can't ride the wave of that, but we can ride the small waves. The ripples in the pond that we can be. And let us be that, our intention, that our lovolution that is happening in each of us. Let us go to prayer. So what I know in this moment, that there is good and God in everything and everyone. And that is all we need to know in every moment we have. And God moves through us, inspires us, encourages us, is the enlivening in us, the opening in us. And for this we're so grateful that we are the evolution. We are the evolution. And so it is.
Sitting on a bench one day, I asked the Lord, teach me how to pray. And as I opened up my heart to Him, came to me where to begin. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. In those moments when I felt so close, must own the consequence of the path that I chose. Time and time again I reach for the sky, only to remember truth lies inside. Loving you comes from loving me. In this balance lies the way to be. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love. Let me be your love.
Always good to have you here. Beautiful. Thank you so much. This is a time in our service we invite you to be part of the law of circulation, the giving and receiving which opens our hearts and greater love-evolution we have. If our ushers could come forward, please. We know that which you give continues to bring greater healing and love to you in body, mind, spirit, and soul. So we will appreciate that. Things that have you given in the past or give today, we so appreciate it. What we'd ask you to do is to put your hand over your heart to represent that which you've given in the past or today, and affirm divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate, and so it is.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing day. This healing day. Thank you for these friends, Spirit. Thank you for these friends. Thank you for these friends, Spirit. Thank you for these friends. These healing friends. These healing friends. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. This healing love. This healing love.
Awesome. We also like to honor people who are here the first time, just to make sure you know that we welcome you and we have something to give you to kind of tell you more about our community, as well as a gift for you in there. So if you're willing to raise your hand and acknowledge that you're here for the first time, we'll acknowledge you as well. So we have a couple people. We so appreciate people trying us out. If you have any questions, I'll be outside to ask us. And you're welcome to ask other members and stay for coffee and snacks that we have. Usually always very good food we have, so that's good. So we'll look forward to meeting you afterwards. We do have an affirmation for you, so we'll raise our hands for our new guest, anybody online as well. And we say, we bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. So we continue to open up for prayer, and we invite Virginia up here to invite practitioners.
we've got 3 practitioners here, 4 practitioners, so no waiting. If you want to think about, no waiting, and if you want to think about what we experienced earlier, we're here to guide you.
For prayers.
For prayers, affirmative prayer.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Okay, thank you practitioners for being here today. And let's all stand for the congregational affirmation. Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through us right now. I am led by Spirit. I'm guided by wisdom. I am protected by love. I am here to be a blessing. I am so grateful. And so it is. And now Bodhi's closing song.
I am a prayer for peace. Wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abides. And I know the joy of peace. I choose fear to release. Every moment love wakes up and peace is every step. Oh, and peace is every step. Oh, and peace is every step.
So as we go forth, we know we are an evolution of love and peace in every step. Thank you. Have a great Sunday.